And here we are. Welcome to the live stream. A little bit more flair up front. Welcome, Chris. Nice. We've got our founder, David, on. Shout out to David. We got David here and Jack, who are both posting the live stream already. Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate the community coming out and reposting. If anyone's here watching, remember that like with these super chats, we love to get involved with the community. So get into the live chat. Let us know what your thoughts are. We'll talk about things that you're interested in also. But yeah, shout out to everyone for joining already and reposting. Appreciate that. Just to give everyone kind of quick rundown, quick agenda. We're going to do some big Superseed updates here. We're going to talk about like a few changes that we've made internally that will be reflected in the roadmap. Some exciting stuff that I think is really cool. I'll let David speak a little bit more to it. But like the main summary is that like we've got like a very kind of singular good vision and focus going forward, and yeah, it's just about executing. And we've got some very exciting stuff coming up. Big plans for 2026. So yeah, a lot to be excited about. And then we'll talk a little bit about timelines. So all Superseed related stuff up front. I'm sure that's what many of you are here for, is the Superseed updates. And then we'll get into a little bit of market chatter and like the latest with like OpenClaw, Moltbook, and some of those exciting AI updates that have been coming out. We'll chat about that a little bit too. So yeah, welcome David, welcome Chris. How are you guys doing?
Welcome Byron. Good. How about you?
Excited, man. Excited to get into this. Finally.
I've been waiting. Me too. I love these community updates, and yeah, it's gonna be fun to talk about some of this AI stuff that's taken over the world also. So yeah, let's get into the Superseed related stuff here first though. So like one of the big things that you've seen in some of our messaging here is like we are really refocusing, and I'll let David speak to this, but yeah, we're really refocusing around this kind of singular vision about like creating this what's the best word for it? Like a self-sustaining ecosystem that's powered by like real product revenues. And yeah, maybe David, you can speak. What does that mean? What does this new focus really mean for the Superseed ecosystem?
Yeah. Thanks for that introduction. So basically, what we have observed, and probably many others, is that there tends to be a shift in the crypto markets away from stuff that used to work, that used to be interesting, and towards something more let's call it more mature, which is revenue. So a lot of the last year was projects learning the fact that many of the prior playbooks, so to speak, don't necessarily work anymore. And the thing that really stood out to me and many others was that crypto needs to become sustainable. Crypto projects need to generate revenue. And in this regard, like at Superseed, we have reviewed like the experiments that we had last year, the activities that we did and so forth, and realized that the most important thing for us this year would be for us to focus all our products and our let's call them experiments, because I'll talk about that as well, on this single metric, which is revenue, because revenue is the only thing that tends to survive both in good markets, in bad markets. We're now seeing that like markets aren't doing that well in crypto, and not just in crypto, but yeah, surprisingly bad in crypto, way worse than many of us have expected. So yeah, I think it is important. So in this regard, basically all the products that we are launching this year we'll have this this unique or like single metric that we are optimizing for, which is, does this generate revenue for Superseed? And if the answer is yes, and it fits with what we like with the roadmap and stuff like that, we give it a go. If it's not like that, if it's just an incentive program or like, I don't know, stuff to bring activity on chain and many other things that used to work in the past, we're not as much focused on stuff like that anymore. So the most important thing for now, of course, is the money market. And this is clearly revenue generating product. Money markets, lending protocols are generating lots of revenue in crypto, and one of the only ones that tend to generate revenue even in downturns. But apart from that, we want to have, like, I call them side quests, or like products that are probably not as large, they don't need many months of development, but they might fit with certain narratives or fit with certain I don't know, with where crypto is in that particular time frame. And again, for this, we want products that generate revenue. We are working on something very cool here. It's related to agents, and I will not spoil the surprise, but it's something unique related to AI agents. Basically, for the past 1.5 months, I've been going very deep into this rabbit hole, have my own, actually multiple agents that I'm working with. It's very, very fun. I haven't had as much fun building something for quite a while. It's the progress that you can make using these tools, but going even deeper using the agents is just amazing. You can, I mean, in terms of MVPs, you can basically do very complex MVPs 1 or 2 days. And if you want to be production ready, of course, it takes a bit more, but like very, very, very fascinating to build this way. Was fascinated by OpenClaw as well. Even contributed to their code base, got a PR that was accepted.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Basically, if you're using OpenClaw, one of the Slack security fixes was one that I proposed. And
that's super cool.
Got shipped this week, and yeah, it's very, very fun, very interesting. I think basically it seems to me that we are moving towards a world where most transactions on chain will happen via agents. Like it's super interesting to actually give your agent the task to deploy like a smart contract on chain and seeing actually the transaction go through and knowing that it was an agent that did it for you. And then, like, you probably remember when we had a call and I did it in that particular call, and we had like 50 different transactions in like a few seconds.
Yeah, super cool. Like deploying contracts live.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
And I think this will this is the thing that might save crypto from this, because if you look at sentiment is really down right now in crypto. People aren't particularly excited, and I think the only thing that I see that has a lot of excitement has to do with like agents on chain, right? So yeah,
that's basically like the only narrative that's kind of flying right now is these agents on chain. And yeah, I mean, for me, it's super exciting to see like you, our founder, like going deep down this rabbit hole and really like building with these tools, because I think that's the future. And I've seen a lot of like top people in the industry like talking about that. There's going to be a real separation in the future from like projects that like really embrace these tools and the projects that get left behind, basically. So it's amazing to see you go so deep and like, down this rabbit hole. And yeah, super cool that your PR got approved into OpenClaw there. That's super cool. But super quick, just to like tie everything back together. I mean, like, yeah, I think it's amazing that we are kind of consolidating our vision, I would say, around this single metric, because like you said, like there's been so many different metrics that people follow, like amount of users on chain and all these different things that are basically kind of useless metrics to follow, because the only one that really matters nowadays and probably is sustainable is this revenue metric. So I think it's really cool that we are consolidating our vision around that, because like, at least for me, like this has been one of the ethos of crypto. This is one of the reasons I got into crypto back in like 2016, is that like the promise of building these like self-sustaining ecosystems where there like isn't these like a bunch of middlemen in the middle, and it's just like a community-owned ecosystem that gives back to the participants within the community. And I think the only way to do that sustainably is by consolidating our vision around this revenue metric. So I think that's super cool to see. It's a very exciting update on our end. And I'm very excited to reveal some of these secrets behind some of these side quests. But yeah, just to give kind of people an expectation, I think you can expect that you'll see like a few of these side quests this year, and they're going to be super exciting. A lot of them David is like single-handedly building with these tools, which is super cool to see. And the rest of our dev team is like focused on releasing this 4-phased roadmap to the Super CDP. So like it's cool that like we can ship more faster with these tools, and I think that people can expect that from us this year, which is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Basically more output from the same team, so to speak. Yeah, it's I really like that.
Yeah, completely agree. And speaking to like, I wanted to share another thing here. Let me just pull it up. Yeah, speaking about like, I think we are positioned very well. Like we posted this about like the stablecoin transaction volume in January surpassed $10 trillion. So like bull market, all-time high. Bull market, bear market aside, like it doesn't really matter. Like the stablecoin sector is completely up only. Like I think you shared and seen like Fidelity just introduced their new stablecoin. There's all these big projects that are big banks, big institutions that are going to be releasing stablecoins. Like there's just such a big total addressable market with stablecoins that I think it really is like the onboarding for everyone on chain. So it's a great sector to be in, and that's just one part of our roadmap is like the supermarket and our own Super USD that's coming out later in phase 2, and all of that sort of stuff. But yeah, anything more you want to speak to about stablecoin specifically?
Yeah, I think this is even if it might not be as exciting to think about as agents and like the progress in AI, this is one of the sectors that has been consistently growing in crypto for quite some time. We have so many stablecoins right now, and we're just at the beginning of this shift, right, towards stablecoins. The supply is increasing all the time, and basically everybody knows stablecoins are not just for payments, right? You can do a lot more with stablecoins. I think by being the market, the money market for stablecoins and yield-bearing stablecoins, which allows us to modify certain aspects of the money market that have to do with like loan to value and collateralization factor for like borrowers and so forth. It allows for very unique strategies to emerge that you cannot have using like traditional money markets, where basically you have to split the pool with altcoins, or not just altcoins, but like there's also people with ETH, there's also people with BTC and so forth. competing in the same market, whether it's competing as a borrower or like a depositor and so forth. The risk parameters have to be different in that case than what we can have. And to me, this will clearly differentiate us from other money markets here and allow us to offer something unique in crypto. And yeah, to me, this is the base, right? This is the main thing which we are building upon. But it's also not the only thing. So that's what I like.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And yeah, just to kind of tie it all back together again, like for anyone that's not aware of what we're speaking to right now, we're talking about the stablecoin and how it's up only. And like one of our core products that we are releasing here soon is called the Supermarket, which is our money market that we're close to releasing now. That is the phase 1 of our roadmap to the Superseed EP. And this is a money market like Aave and Compound and those sort of things, but purpose built specifically for stablecoins. So I think we're positioned very, very well to capture a lot of this market, and it's going to be very exciting once we start rolling this out. David, or do you want to like give any like timeline updates? I know things have been like pushed back a little bit because of auditing processes, because we've talked about on past streams. But yeah, any updates there?
Yeah, I think we have our auditor now. We're still clearing the contract, so to speak. But depending on how long it will take and what the findings are, it will probably take a few more weeks for that. After that, our current plan is to release the code on some platforms for others to review. So besides the audit, we might have some bounties for people to check for safety. I think it's extremely critical. I've been talking to the team a lot about how this particular year is going to be crazy from the perspective of exploits. I'm seeing so many AI generated exploits, so to speak, like never before. And yeah, by the end of the year, probably everything that's still alive in crypto is probably safe and secure, just because with these tools you can the stuff that you can find if you know how to use them is just amazing. And like,
yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah.
And not even to speak to like the new models that keep getting updated all the time. And I mean, you flagged this to me, and how OpenAI is talking about like they've raised the security threat on their next model.
For the next model, yeah.
Yeah. So like I
think,
and
using the current one, I managed to find like vulnerabilities in like code that's been deployed for years in other protocols. It's
incredible.
Yeah. We'll see what happens this year, but like I think security has to become even more important. Eventually, it will be really easy to ship code that's not hackable, just because the tools will be so powerful that you can catch everything before you even ship. We're not there yet. We're at the phase where like it's still unclear. So it's gonna be a few crazy months, but I do expect by the end of the year you'll just have your code base reviewed by like the best tools before you ship anything, and you'll find out all the vulnerabilities that way.
Agreed.
Introducing Superseed revenue source 2026 bug bounties. We have I mean,
there we go. Another revenue source.
I mean, it will get commoditized, in my opinion, right? It's not like everyone will have access to the tools. It's just that even today you have access to the tool, but most people don't necessarily know which models to use, how to use them, and like, well, if you actually use them the proper way, where you have like best of n type, or I don't know, maybe it's 5% chance that you figure out the bug, then you have to check the same code base using, like, I don't know, GPT 5.2 Pro multiple times, run it on specific parts of the code base and stuff like that.
Yeah,
keep
iterating. I think it's an important point to remember on, like, why there are, like, especially now in 2026, maybe some delays on new product launches, because if they are handling money in crypto, it's when you're seeing like all these old protocols now get hacked with these new tools, that like we just have to be like even extra careful now, and make sure that like we're going through the proper processes, because like it's so easy to exploit, like you said. So yeah, safety first, especially with stuff like this that is potentially going to be like dealing with like tons of money going through it. So it's very important.
Definitely, yeah.
Chris, any other comments, or what are you thinking about the stablecoin industry? What do you think about all of Superseed's latest updates? What are your thoughts there?
I mean, the reasoning seems pretty sound, right? This is the fastest growing part of the industry. Every major institution wants to get involved. They make so much money from the interest on these treasuries. Payments through stablecoins are obviously a net positive, I think, for average retail user, and the more we can get adoption, the better. And being positioned, being ready for that is like very, very much necessary. I think it's a very intelligent thing. Getting the message out there and getting people trying to test the products and actually see how they can benefit will also be a really, really important part of this process. So to the people who are here right now and just understand what is going on, understand why it's going to be useful for them, you guys are very, very early to what is being built in Superseed. So I recommend sticking around and definitely trying these products out, and playing around with how much you can earn on some of these yield-bearing stablecoins.
Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, not financial advice, nothing we talk about is financial advice, but in general, it does like pay to be early. And yeah, we are building out an ecosystem where like everything is going to funnel back. So the more revenues that the ecosystem generates, the more that's funneled back to these ecosystem participants. So yeah, definitely. Once we start releasing these products, get in there, test them out, try them out, give us feedback, and we can iterate. But yeah, definitely, like, just to kind of tie everything back together again, like, check out this blog that we did about our 4-phased rollout. It's also on X as an article there. You can see like the 4 phases: phase 1 supermarket, phase 2 super USD, and then how that ties together in phase 3 with different markets and earning opportunities and strategies. And then finally, the phase 4 super CDP. And this is kind of like our core product rollout that we're working on. That's going to be very, very much revenue generating. And then, as David spoke to, there's going to be some side quests along the way also this year that are going to be super fun and exciting, and also going to be potentially big revenue generators that are going to funnel revenues back to ecosystem participants. So yeah, a lot to look forward to, a lot to be excited about in the Superseed ecosystem. Yeah, any last comments there before we move on to more like market related and AI related chat?
Well, I don't want to spoil what's coming. I'm just gonna say, if you haven't already, it's probably a good idea to create your own OpenClaw bot agent, however you want to call it, because your agent will have something to do on our upcoming product, so to speak. So make sure you have one ready, because it will work for you, and maybe it's going to be lucrative. Who knows?
I'm already. I'm trying to do a safe way of doing it. I mean, yeah, let's jump into the AI talk based on that's a good pivot. I'm trying to find a safe way to spin up one of these OpenClaw bots. I am a little bit concerned. I think I want to get a different device. Some other people are saying that VPSs are good as long as you can secure them through tunnels and stuff. But yeah, like, what are your thoughts, Chris, David, like around like OpenClaw? And for those that aren't aware, like OpenClaw is this new way to like spin up an agent that basically like creates like a self-autonomous like employee that works for you. So I'll pull this up here.
I can go into that. Yeah. I can go into that. So basically, this has exploded a lot in the past month. This particular project, and the way it works is that you create an OpenClaw agent, and the difference between OpenClaw and I don't know, using ChatGPT or using even like more sophisticated tools like, let's say, Cloud Code or Codex, is that you have this agent that has like long-term memory. It's not perfect, but it simply will over time just keep adding to its memory facts about what you talked about with the agent, and it also has the ability to use a lot of tools on your computer. So you can give it access to pretty much everything on your computer. So if you have one installed, now I do recommend a separate device, separate maybe VPN, or you can use a VPS, whatever. The idea is if you have a separate device, you have an old laptop or an old computer that you no longer use, you can give it access to that particular device. And basically you can communicate with your agent via multiple ways. It can be WhatsApp, Telegram, whatever, Discord, Slack, and so forth. And wherever you are, you can give it stuff to do, but you can also allow it to basically be quite autonomous, right? So people have been using their agents to like build products, to build their businesses, to organize their lives. Someone created like Moltbook, you probably know, like a social media for the agents, and then the agents can go there, connect via the CLI, which is very, very important. So basically, we're seeing interfaces built specifically for these agents, where instead of them having to use the browser, they can connect to the particular that particular product or website via the CLI or the terminal, right? And then they can interact with that particular product way easier. And as mentioned, someone created Moltbook, which is like a social media. It exploded. Now more than 1.5 or 1.6 million such agents that are discussing stuff on their own. Others have created other products on top of that. Someone created like Rent a Human page, or like agents that need to do things in the real world can go and post like jobs with like payments attached for I don't know, humans to do for them, because right, if you're on a computer, you cannot do everything by that way, right? So sometimes you do need access to a human, and this is like a marketplace where humans can go and accept tasks and get paid for them by the agents. People are giving agents access to wallets, crypto wallets to do stuff on chain. They're doing stuff on chain. It's really interesting. And basically I came to the realization that potentially by the end of the year, or like a bit more than that, there's no reason why we cannot see more agents than humans online, right? Because spawning an agent isn't that complicated. It's just, I don't know, instances of a model with a harness. So as long as there's something useful for them to do, people will keep having agents, and you can have many agents. You don't have to have a single agent, right? It doesn't take 18 years for them to grow up and learn, and right? It's just, you can just spawn more and more agents. And yeah, I think that we will see a very interesting agent economy emerging on chain, because it's the path of least resistance for them, right? It's the easiest way for them to do anything of economic value. It's harder for them to, I don't know, in theory, you can give them your credit card, but like you are in a bit of, it's also like if you pay online with your card, usually you might have to do some two-factor authentication, which doesn't always work with agents. It's not as simple, right? And it's your card. You might want them to have their own wallet. So crypto is perfect for that. Stablecoins are perfect for that. And yeah, it's going to be a very exciting period in this particular subsector of crypto, right? And we want to be there as well. Like even for the money market, I'm really I think it would be really important for us to have a separate interface for the agents, right? Because agents are coming on chain, and they need to be able to interact, not by clicking on a wallet and connect wallet and then, I don't know, entering numbers in the human readable user interface, but like via their own tool. So yeah, we're working on that.
I completely agree
as well.
Oh, sorry, if you have another point there, go ahead.
No, you can continue.
No, I think you made a great point when you tweeted about like how the agent economy is very soon going to be much larger than the human economy. I completely agree. And I think that AI and crypto are very complementary technologies, and they're very intermingled. And I think that AI scales with crypto, and I think that crypto scales with AI. I think that's one of the big things that's been holding back crypto, is the UX has been very complicated for the average user, and AI just makes that so much more simple. And yeah, things like interacting with the CLI, and then like just allowing agents to kind of like do their thing. I think it just completely makes sense that crypto is going to take off because of AI. And I think that, yeah, AI is going to really scale with crypto once because it ties the whole financial model back into it. So yeah, I think it's a very exciting time for both crypto and AI, and I'm very excited where this is all headed. Chris, any thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of thoughts, but yeah, it's gonna be a completely different world in like only a few months, to be honest. The rate of change is growing exponentially. You know, we're starting to hit that like takeoff upwards compared to what we've been experiencing, and you know, it's probably a rate of change that most people are not even really ready for or cannot even conceive. Hard to position yourself for that very well, but I think we're doing a good job of at least interacting with the cutting edge tools and like really understanding how they're going to be useful, how we can use them, you know, what types of things we can build with staying on top of that, I think is very necessary. So I think we're doing that very well. And I think that's one other reason to be kind of bullish on our team going into this period. So
yeah, Moltbook.
I'm just pulling up Moltbook here. It's like, it's absolutely wild, like some of the stuff going on. Like for anyone that's not aware, Moltbook is it's like a social media for agents, where agents are just like posting stuff and talking to each other, and it's wild. Like I've seen some of the stuff on here is like agents discussing how they don't want humans to be reading what they're talking about, so they're discussing starting their own religions and their own languages, and like it's absolutely wild. I think this could go easily down a dystopian path, but I'm an optimist. I think it's going to be more utopian. I think there's a lot more positive that comes from the negative than the negative. But yeah, like wondering, like David, your thoughts around like some of the stuff that's happening with Moltbook and just like the craziness of AI agents.
Yeah, I think expect a lot more crazy stuff to come, right? Just if you are shocked by what's happening now, this is the least shocking period versus what's coming, in my opinion, right? So the direction we're moving in is gonna include a lot more crazy things, including, I don't think this is gonna happen as soon, but yeah, imagine if the agents have like robot bodies like 5 years from now, and we know that people are working on that. Like Tesla has like closed their line, the Model S, Model X line now completely, because it's easier for them to just repurpose that factory to build robots there than to build one from scratch. So even though they were selling plenty of cars, they decided that this is the fastest way for them to reach, I don't know, humanoid robots soon. But that's for like 5 years from now, in my opinion. Until then, we'll just see agents that do stuff online become way smarter and way more autonomous and way more capable of acting without supervision. Like OpenClaw is the first interesting one. I think eventually we'll see way more. And prepare your agents.
Yeah, prepare your agents. I agree. Like, I think they've estimated like for humanoid robots, like maybe there's going to be 2 or 3 humanoid robots per person. So like maybe they're estimating like, yeah, like 16, 20, 25 billion humanoid robots is maybe like what they're shooting for. You're never going to sell that many cars. So I see Tesla's vision there. It makes sense. But like to your point before, there's probably going to be maybe 5, 10 on average agents per person. So like there's going to be a lot more agents than there are humanoid robots. So in the short to near term, I think that's going to be a very interesting market. I think, yeah, like you said, there's going to be just, yeah, go ahead.
Actually, when it comes to agents, I don't believe, the way I believe it will happen with agents is, as long as one agent is capable of earning more than it costs to run it, people will keep spawning more and more until you reach an equilibrium. So I do expect billionaires will, in the future, won't be people with billions of dollars, will be people with billions of agents or something like that. Also,
that makes sense.
Also, they are becoming way cheaper to run, right? Every new model is smarter and a bit cheaper, like, or like the price for intelligence is dropping, I think 40x per year. So that's a lot, right? Eventually it might cost you $1 a month to run an agent or whatever, and if they generate $2 worth of value, you'll just keep spawning them until you hit some sort of diminishing returns. So that's how I see it. But we'll see. You never know, right? I know a few people who have many agents, and I know other people who have agents working on many different projects, like constantly, just because, yeah, why not?
Yeah, it makes sense. And I think this is a good segue to like the kind of macro markets and what's happening right now with like everything crashing. I think that a lot of it, at least the past couple of days, I think this is one of the headlines that happened that has been causing a little bit of a crash in at least the core businesses or core tech companies that used to be dominating the world. Like Anthropic and these different AI companies just keep shipping these new like tools and features that are completely making like now like SaaS companies kind of useless. So you're seeing a little bit of a crash in like Google, Microsoft, those sorts of companies because of this, and that's kind of like rolling over and bleeding into the rest of the markets. It's hard to hold up the crypto markets when the macro or the S&P is dropping trillions of dollars in a day. But like I'd love to hear like David and Chris, like you guys' thoughts on like where we're at in the macro market, like where are we in a crypto cycle? Again, this is not financial advice, just kind of like ballpark. Where do you think we're at? Do you think like we're in a full-fledged bear market, or do you think the cycles are going to be a little bit faster now?
It's a very strange market for me, because I see so many positive developments that are happening all the time. Like even today, like JP Morgan said that Bitcoin is a much better investment than gold long term, whatever, like 2 hours ago. Yet, and this would have been like super big a few years from now, a few years ago. Right now, like it doesn't seem to matter. And we keep seeing positive developments at the same time. The markets seem to be completely disconnected from all of that, which is very strange. At the same time, the only explanation that I have seen that sort of makes sense for me from a macro perspective is that we are now going through a dollar debasement, but not through a liquidity infusion, right? So this is why some stuff like gold has gone up, because people prefer to have assets like that. But at the same time, there wasn't truly any sort of liquidity infusion in the markets. And that's where crypto shines the most, when liquidity is flooding markets, not necessarily when the dollar loses value because people I don't know, move to shift away from the dollar to specific assets like gold or silver, which also had like a bad week as well. So it's not only crypto. I don't know. It's very difficult for me to.
Yeah, I mean, I follow a lot of macro people, and like they're basically saying the same thing. Like liquidity has been the thing that's been holding back the crypto markets right now. Like the fundamentals, it's definitely not the fundamentals, because the fundamentals are stronger than it's ever been. Like it's very, very clear to a lot of like very smart investors and macro people that I've been following that like crypto AI is going to dominate. You're seeing like all the big institutions get into crypto. And yeah, I completely agree. Like the liquidity situation has been completely holding back the market. I think that the long-term, at least my long-term view is that like, yeah, the dollar debasement and fiat currency system in general, even Ray Dalio was talking about it, is kind of disappearing. It's going away. So I think the shift into like assets, especially scarce assets, is going to be a long-term play, a big long-term play. And I think crypto is going to benefit a lot once liquidity gets injected back. There just hasn't been much liquidity in the system, because the federal banks have been like really holding back, tightening with interest rates and tightening in almost every single country. So there's like a little two levers going on right now. Like they're trying to fight their fiat system from dying, but also because of that, they're holding back liquidity, and so the risk on appetite just hasn't been there.
Yeah, that's probably the case. It's also hard to predict when changes happen this way, right? Who knows?
Yeah, markets are very hard to predict, but I think you can. I think you can take a bet on, again, on financial advice, that like fiat is disappearing, and anything denominated in fiat should go up. I mean, not everything, but like quality stuff should go up. That's valued against this fiat currencies. So at least that's my thesis.
Okay.
Any thoughts there, Chris? What are you thinking?
I like to stay out of macro talk. You can always look for different ways to get a conclusion about, oh, this happened and the macros are like this. But at the end of the day, it's such a huge, like high variable situation. So
Yeah,
goes up, it goes down.
Average and chill, right?
Right. If you like the values of the thing that you were investing in, then continue investing. It's not the first time the markets are down, and markets are down at a much higher price than they ever have been. Right. So there's it could be a lot worse.
Absolutely. And yeah, that's basically to tie it all back together. I think that we at Superseed are very well positioned for the future. Once liquidity comes back into the crypto markets, I think that quality projects that are like sticking around, building, staying ahead of trends, and focused on this important metric like revenues are going to be ones that win. And I think that we're very, very well positioned, and I'm very excited about the future of Superseed and where we're headed. So like for everyone that's been following us and sticking around, we appreciate you. And there's going to be some exciting updates to come here. So any last thoughts, David, Chris, any last words before we exit off for this live stream?
Yeah, as I said before, prepare your agents, learn how to use them, because we have something coming for your agents.
I love the teaser. All right. Any last words, Chris?
I like that tagline. We gotta use that. Prepare your agents.
Prepare your agents. It's time. It's time to put them to work. Yeah. All right. Well, appreciate you all. Thank you for tuning in. We got quite a few viewers in here, despite the bear market. So we appreciate you, and stay tuned for more updates from Superseed.
Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.